Hello, welcome back to Grey the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a reading on messages from the universe. Today's my birthday, so I'm feeling like a very close connection to spirit at this time, and I'm excited to see what comes through. So there's 4 piles today. The first is rose quartz. The second is blue calcite. The third is amethyst. And the fourth is angelite. So take a second and pause the video if you need to meditate on the piles. And I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile 1, if you chose the rose quartz heart, and this is your reading all on messages from the universe. So we're going to look at these tarot cards first and then see what the universe wants to say to you, what needs to be expressed, and we'll look at some oracle cards after that. So first we have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Moon. And we have the King of Swords in upright. Pile 1. I'm seeing here that you've been on a journey on your own, that you trusted in the universe that there was more out there for you. In this moon card, I'm really seeing Monet's garden. That might be something you want to look up. He did a lot of his water lily paintings in this garden in France, and it's beautiful. And in this particular moon card, this woman is crossing a bridge into a new life. And that's what I'm seeing you have done. And you've trusted in the universe every step of the way. You probably made these decisions based on your own intuition. And I'm seeing that you weren't given enough support and love and nourishment in your past chapter. I think the relationships you had around you were taking you for granted. They didn't encourage you to be all that you could be, and the universe guided you away from these situations. And one of the things the universe wants to tell you is that you're not in that chapter anymore. You have found people who see your worth and value now, and you are able to discern instinctively who to give your energy to and who not to. And you're meant to trust in this. You've learned where to feed your energy and where your energy doesn't belong. There's this book called Letters to a Young Poet that Rainier Rilke wrote. Rainier Maria Rilke. And he said, if people fail you, the sun and the moon will always be there. Nature will be a constant and can continue in your life despite who leaves, besides who isn't staying, who fails you. And I see that there are people in your life that you had ties to. I'm seeing mostly these were friendships and people they were like chosen family to you, and you would support them with all you had, but they didn't do the same for you. And they didn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And it kind of feels like the rug was pulled out from under you with these relationships, and it was a rude awakening. But you trusted in the universe that they were taking you somewhere better. And you walked this journey alone. And the universe really wants to say that you know how to fight for yourself. You have learned the lessons of this journey, and you don't have to fear falling back into that path. You're on a new side of the journey. You're in a new chapter, and you know how to fight for yourself in a way that you didn't in the past because you didn't know you'd have to fight for yourself. I'm thinking of the Taylor Swift lyric. I brought a knife to a gunfight. They took the crown, but it's all right. Call it what you want. That's from Reputation. That album might be significant to you. I think because you've chosen to value yourself and to find people who value yourself, and you've had to take on some traits that maybe you hadn't in the past. Like you had to be courageous, brave. I think sometimes cold, where your emotions were telling you, I love these people, I don't want to let them go. Your mind was like, enough is enough. They haven't treated me the way I need to be treated. And you've become a fighter for yourself. And I see because you have learned so much self-respect and care, there's people coming in who really value you and give you that self-respect. And there are people who also had to go through a similar reckoning with the relationships in their life and realize they deserve to value themselves with more care and love. And the universe is saying that when you feel emotional about these situations, you're meant to use logic, because the fact of the matter is they didn't value you the way you deserve to be valued. And you know this on an intuitive level, but sometimes your feelings might evade you because you have a very pure heart, And you were led on this journey to fortify your character, to fortify who you're meant to be. It's like you needed to learn how to use your wings. You'd been in a state of insecurity, not knowing, and you thought this was all there was. You thought how these people treated you was how you deserved to be treated, and this was how your life should go. And Spirit brought you out of that and showed you that it's like you went on. Now I'm thinking of Tangled with this girl's long hair. She thought that castle was the only place that she could live. And her mother had told her that because she wanted to use her gifts for herself. The mom was very selfish. And then she leaves the tower and sees there's a lot more to life. Yeah, there might be something about romance here too. You finding a partner who's your equal on this journey, and that's what this journey is leading to. You might have had partners in the past who didn't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. And I'm seeing in whatever partner you have in the future, they will fight for you. They'll never let you feel worse about yourself. They constantly empower you. They're the opposite of whatever the situation was. And if this person hasn't come in, you're meant to trust in the sun and the moon and the stars and what you can hold on to that's a constant in your life. If you have any animals, their support system. But what I'm really seeing is that you aren't in this situation anymore where you're being treated with less value, where people are knocking you down to feel better about themselves because that's what they were doing. It's like how that mother treated her, or she kidnapped her daughter in Tangled. Yeah. Oh my God, and then at the end, the guy cuts off her hair so that no one can treat her that way anymore. And he's saying that she has value with, as much value with or without that gift. Yeah. People are really going to be showing you that you have innate value. And you'll know it too. But it'll be, I think, really validating for that to be affirmed to you in your outer environment. This is kind of reminding me of How to Train Your Dragon too. I think you and this person will really connect on an instinctive level, on a very primal level. I think nonverbal cues will be more important than verbal cues in the bonding of this relationship. You'll never be in a position like this again. That's what Spirit really wants to say, is that you had to, the worst is behind you here. And you still have so much more beauty to come. You're on this bridge, but you're about to cross over from these things to a new life. And I think you're already in the midst of that new life. But you're still purging out some of this pain from the past. I think logically and instinctively you're in a new chapter, but you might still be purging out some of the feelings that were left behind here. And that's completely valid. And don't think that you haven't made enormous strides, even if you're still mourning or grieving. So I want to look at the animal spirit cards for you. Okay. We have the crow, dolphin, we have the vulture. Wow. So the dolphin was in reverse, and this card talks about how a dolphin, like anyone who meets a dolphin, it changes their karma. They make an immense impact on the people around them, the people they come into contact with. And the fact this came out in reverse shows that you are this beautiful dolphin. Also, dolphins remind me of soul family. I think Kino Tarot talks about how dolphins are a symbol of soul tribe. And this is a reminder that what you were leaving was for your soul tribe to come in. And the fact this came out in reverse shows that these people, it's affirming the fact that these people weren't valuing you. And anytime you start to feel pain about it, anytime you start to feel regret about maybe I shouldn't have walked away, I feel bad, like if they contact you or what have you, remember, instinctively you knew you deserved to be valued better. And actions speak louder than words. Plateau by Nirvana, or it's not by Nirvana, but their cover of Plateau might have significance to you. Yeah, they sing Who Needs Action When You've Got Words. It's an ironic song. So anyway, with Crow here, I'm seeing that your psychic abilities led you out of this situation. You underestimate your power and your ability to move forward. And I think this is something beautiful about you, because often people with beautiful gifts are kind of unaware of how beautiful these gifts are. And I think this is something precious about you. But you're meant to know that you have this power and that you are standing on top of this rainbow orb that's telling you how to move and where to move, and you can trust in your instincts. And the vultures here. I remember when I was around people who were treating me less than I ought to be treated. We were on a hike and I saw a vulture. And I was like, I wonder what's going to be purged from my life, because that's kind of the spiritual lesson of vultures. And then those people it's kind of funny looking back on it. Whatever, like this is the blessing in disguise card. It might not feel like a blessing immediately, but you'll see in the future how much more abundant and happy your life is. And things have to leave so new can come in. You can't carry everything with you on your journey. Some things have to fall behind to make room for new. So, I want to look at the goddess cards now for you. For pile 1, what message does the universe have? We have Valkyries, redemption. So the Valkyries were these goddesses or angels that came after a courageous warrior had died on the battlefield. They took them to their afterlife, and they were celebrating their afterlife. And what I'm being reminded of now is that, yes, one part of your life may be over, but you're living multiple lives within this life, and you're being led to your victory. You fought for yourself in this chapter, and yes, metaphorically, you might have suffered some endings and changes, but you're being led to your victory. And this is because you have honor and these values we were talking about. You hold true to your values. You are very, this pure heart, and you have integrity. This is why you're being led to this victory on earth as well. You were not meant to stay stuck in this situation, and just because one chapter is ended doesn't mean... I feel like your ego sometimes is like, why couldn't I have stuck here? Why couldn't I have made it work here? And it was in your fate to move forward from this situation. So I want to look at my Zodiac deck. I love this deck. We have within a few days. We have cake, celebration, ceremony, party, gathering with friends. 50-50. And inventor. Okay. Can I get clarification on this 50-50 card? Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay. So Spirit's reminding you of your free will and the fact that you have this beauty coming into your life, and you have to choose whether you want to act on it and if you want the past to hold you back. And I'm seeing with the Nine of Swords in reverse that you're going to rid yourself of these anxieties. But you're just meant to know that this anxiety can come in the way of these blessings that are coming to you. I love the saying, all you have to do is get out of your own way. And I think that's something you have to do here, is realize how deserving you are of this celebration and happiness, and that your anxieties and the phantoms of the past don't have to hold you back. I think you're going to be... You have some very inspired ideas, and you're setting trends, and I see that something very beautiful could be happening very soon, where you're celebrated and honored for the work you've done. But you just have to act and get out of your own way. And I also see that your friends will be celebrating you. These new friends you've made in your life who honor your value and worth are going to be celebrating you for your beauty and what you bring into their life. And there's a lot of fire energy here too. And I'm seeing just a passion you bring to people. And you're not... If you could take one thing away from this reading, is do not let this past chapter hold you back. Step forward into confidence and know that you have a lot of beauty to share with the world, and some very beautiful things are happening in the next few days. Just stay present to your life and act on these passions you have, what feels right to you. And as long as you don't let anxiety stop you, you're going to come into a lot of abundance and beauty, and also see the abundance that's already cultivated around you in this new chapter. So to close, we're going to look at the Rose Oracle cards. Okay, a lot came out, but we can take them. Codes of the Seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. The Rose Garden. Innocence, forgiveness. Be gentle with yourself. The Holy Grail. Stop the endless searching inner quest. Everything you need is within you. You are a very powerful soul, and the answers you seek are within you, especially with this Moon card. Your intuition is on point, and you don't need tarot readings to tell you where you need to go. You can trust in your internal compass. with Codes of the Seeds, all you have to do is take the next step and not let anxiety hold you back. And don't be mad at yourself for having this anxiety. You're meant to be gentle with yourself and forgive yourself for what you've been through in the past, because you did what you could with the information you had. And I'm seeing that you were naive and innocent during that chapter. You saw the best in people and they showed you their worst, and that's not your fault. All you can do is take the next right step for you, and know that I think in the past you're also looking for answers and validation outside of yourself. And what this chapter has been meant to teach you is it all comes from within. And all of it's inside of you. I'm hearing DNA by Kendrick Lamar. Trust in the road you're going down. And whatever you feel intuitively, is the right step for you, do it. Because you are on the right track. And don't ask anyone else for advice. It's within you. So this is what I'm getting for you, Pile 1. This was a beautiful reading, and I wish you all the best on your journey. And I will see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 2. If you chose the blue calcite, then this is your reading on the universe's messages for you. So let's get into it. The first card we have here is Justice. The second card we have is the Ace of Coins in reverse. And the Ace of Swords in reverse. What I'm getting immediately, Pile 2, is that a message from the universe is that you don't need to control everything. I feel like you might be dealing with some control issues, hoping that you can control what opportunities come in, how things work out. And something I've heard recently that I love is you can control how you act, but you can't control the outcome. And what I'm seeing here is that you might be upset over some false starts, some things that you thought might come into fruition that haven't. But what Spirit's really saying is that things are going to work out for you, and you are going to get justice. And some of these things that you've wanted, they would have led to more pain than good. Spirit sees all. They see the trickery behind certain decisions, how the other people might be selfish or playing games or not ready to commit. And Spirit is protecting you from things that aren't worth your time and energy. And unless they're needed on your path as a lesson or as a way to get from point A to point B, they're not going to make you go through unnecessary strife. And there's something here about not presuming to know the plan and surrendering when things don't work out, because you're really meant to embody the fact that things are working out in your favor. You are a good person with a good heart, and what's meant to find you will find you, and what you're meant to do will find you, and you will find that fulfillment. And I almost am seeing with these two aces that some of the opportunities coming in might be things that you hadn't expected or things that you hadn't really planned for consciously. But in these random opportunities and these random openings are your greatest blessings, are your greatest surprises. And you're really meant to go with the flow here and believe that everything's working out best case scenario for you, and not holding on too tightly to what you think is the right answer for you, because it seems like what you think is good for you really isn't. And what you second guess or what you wouldn't first be drawn to as opportunities are leading you to your greatest fulfillment. So there's something here about going with the flow of your life, trusting in what opportunities bring themselves to you, and trusting that Spirit knows what's right for you and what isn't right for you. I'm hearing in Willow by Taylor Swift, "The more you say, the less I know." And that song is really about divine intervention and not being in control of how the path plays out, but the path being beautiful nonetheless. And she didn't see her relationship with Joe coming. You can tell in the songs that it felt very fated to her, like a destiny that she couldn't have written herself. Like with that song Invisible String, she plays a lot with the idea of fate in her songs about him. And there's something here about trusting in what path is laid out for you by Spirit and just going with the flow of opportunities that present themselves and not trying to force things to fit that don't, puzzle pieces to fit that don't, because Spirit is really leading you in your highest good in whatever this is. If it's work, career, living situation, relationships, whatever it is to you, Spirit is leading you in the right direction and you will have your victory. And it's almost as though you're seeing the trees and you can't see the forest. And if you just take a step back and look at this from a higher perspective, you'll be able to have more confidence in the path that's being laid for you. Also, something I'm being reminded of is I've been seeing a lot of Disney movies in this reading, and one I'm being shown is Cinderella, and how it took her mice and animals built her a dress, and the stepmothers ruined it, her stepsisters ruined it. And then luck was on her side, and she ended up meeting with her fairy godmother and going to the dance. But then at midnight, she had to run away and didn't know if she'd meet the prince again. But he went looking for her and used that shoe to find what girl fit the shoe. So anyway, I'm seeing something about divine intervention, and just because you think things are going one way, they might go another way. And this is kind of surrendering to the path you're going down and trusting that it's in your highest good and will lead to better than you could ever imagine. So next I want to look at the animal spirit cards. We have the lizard in reverse, the bat, the dragon, and the black egg. Okay, what I'm seeing is whatever this is, it's new. Whatever Spirit's bringing in for you is a new chapter. You're really leaving the past behind in what you're headed towards. And what I'm seeing is you're a very perceptive, sensitive person, but I think you're overanalyzing and overthinking the situation, so you can't really trust whatever this is. It feels like you are too emotionally tied to it to really trust your intuition on it. The best thing you can do is surrender and trust in the steps Spirit's creating for you. It's almost as though you're too hyperfixated on this and need to loosen your grip. And with the black egg here in reverse, I'm being reminded that yes, things are coming in from Spirit, but you still have to fight for what you want and stand strong in your convictions and who you truly are. And I'm seeing through the experiences in your life, you've really figured out who you are beyond your ego, what you truly value, what your soul truly values. And you're meant to be strong in that and not change your convictions based on what you think your ego wants or what you think you need to do to fit a certain mold. Do not change yourself to fit into a box or to make something work for you. Stay exactly as you are and fight for your truth. Stand up for yourself. And when this comes in, stay strong in your convictions. Fight for yourself. Because with this guy with the sword, I'm really seeing what's being brought in for you is beautiful, and it's because of your courageous nature it's being brought in. So continue to fight and trust. Don't give up on this fight, even though things aren't working out the way you thought it would. Don't give up, because it's working out and new is coming in. Let's see what the goddesses have to say. We have Isis protection and Valkyries redemption. Oh my god, so Pile 1 might be relevant to you, but I was talking Pile 1, Valkyries, I can't say that correctly, but this card came out for them as well. And I was talking about how these goddesses, these angels, bring heroic warriors who have fallen on the battlefield to their afterlife, and they are celebrated and honored in that afterlife for the courage they had on the battlefield. And I'm seeing for you that you have fought very hard for yourself, and this new chapter that's coming in is to honor you for the work you've done in the past. This is a life you're living multiple lives within this lifetime, and you're being celebrated in this lifetime for the work you've done and the difficulty you've gone through. And this is protected. This is coming no matter what. You might work with Isis, and I'm seeing that you do not need to fear this not coming in, because I see some doubts and hesitancy from you, being scared that what you desire isn't coming, but it is. It's protected. And this is in your divine right. This is your divine plan. And you can trust in the way you're being led, and know that you have energies in the spirit realm who are working with you to bring this in. And I'm hearing you have nothing to fear but fear itself. So just trust in this path you're going down as best you can. Surrender as best you can to spirit, and let the path unfold for you. Just keep taking the next right step. So we're going to look at the zodiac cards now. Okay. Within a few weeks, the situation or event in question will develop or unfold within a matter of weeks. Handcuffs, control defenseless target, handicapped, held back, prey. Fine print, detail, look closer, inspection, research, be careful. Gavel, conviction, decisions made, pay attention. Bodybuilder, power, strength, forceful, determined, discipline, vigor. So I feel like you feel kind of defenseless in the situation, or like you feel just like kind of controlled, or that you don't know how to move forward, and you're feeling powerless, and you're meant to surrender this to your higher power, and you will see change within the next few weeks. I'm seeing you're meant to really carefully inspect what this is and make sure it aligns with your values and who you truly are. And I'm seeing that you're very strong and very determined, and you have strong convictions. And there's someone in your life who might be a bodybuilder or do something within law who's very triggered by your power and your strength. And it's because these are things they work for, but you just inherently have them. And that's why they might not align with you all the time. And you're meant to push forward in your convictions and trust that whenever things come your way, you will be able to assert yourself and know what's right for you. And that you have all of the strength necessary and experience necessary to do the right thing for yourself. just make sure whatever you're faced with, you look at and make sure it feels aligned with you, and know that you have everything within you you need to succeed when it's time to move forward, when it's time to make decisions for yourself and act with authority. There's a lot of Virgo, Capricorn, Sagittarius energy here. You're meant to lay the foundation of where you're headed in the future. And know that you know intuitively what's right for you. So to close, we're going to look at the Rose Oracle cards. Okay, let's see. Rose without thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. Yeah, I think you might be in your head about these things, and what you're meant to do during this time is surrender and just enjoy your life as much as you can in the day-to-day, present moment. Enjoy your life and trust that things are working out best case scenario. You have a right to your joy, and you decide if little things like a train running late, or stepping in bird poo, something like you decide whether that ruins your day. You have authority over your mind and what you give power to. And you're meant to focus more on the joy and sweetness of life, and trust that these big things that you can feel coming in will come in as they're meant to. And you don't have to worry about them. They're in the hands of spirit. Let spirit worry about it. Release control and just enjoy your present moment. So, and know you have everything within you need to succeed when this comes in. So this is what I'm getting for you, pile 2. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile 3. If you chose the amethyst crystal, then this is your reading on messages from the universe. So let's get into it. The first card we have here is the 3 of Pentacles. The second card we have is the Hierophant. And the third card we have here is the Page of Swords in reverse. Okay, pile 3. I'm immediately being drawn to your crystal. And this crystal is like mad beautiful. It's a kind of crystal that reminds me of the wizards in Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. And for some reason, for you, I'm getting, I don't know if you are skeptical of tarot, or if you've just been dealing with some doubt, or there's some kind of negative energy in your aura that you might have fell prey to some cynicism and negativity in the recent past, and just kind of feeling like life is very mundane. And you really want to get that spark back, that feeling of magic back, that feeling of believing in something beautiful. I think you really like fantasy. I think you like Lord of the Rings probably, or you would if you read it. You like the stuff that feels otherworldly. Now, I think you've been through some difficult experiences that make you skeptical and disillusioned to beauty in this world. And I'm hearing that where you found your pain is where you'll also find new hope. So people, places, and things can either harm you or be your greatest blessing. And that's something I've really learned in my life, because in the past, I surrounded myself with people who didn't have my best interest at heart, in places that I didn't align with values, and doing things that were not fulfilling me. I struggled with addiction, and I was surrounded by people who were also in a lower vibration. And I was involved in institutions that didn't really, they didn't have my best interest at heart. You know what I mean? And what I'm seeing is what's happened to you, the reason you are failing to find this magic is because people in your past and places in your past, whether these be religious institutions, capitalism, corporate jobs, what have you, they've made you lose that spark, because if things like this exist, you struggle, and that's what you've been focused on, and people like that, it's hard to see that there could be magic and there could be that new perspective. I'm seeing your perspective is one of what you've experienced. We're all made up of experiences we've had. And because of these negative experiences, you've lost joy in people, places, and things. But what Spirit's really telling me is that the way you get back this spark, this magic, is finding people who uplift you, who empower you, who have the same beliefs and values as you, and going to places that uplift you and uplift your passion and bring back that spark to your life. It's like you're too fixated on the negative energies around you that you can't see the positive. And by feeding into these positive energies, what truly aligns with your values, what truly will make you happy, what truly feels sacred to you and beautiful to you, that's how you get that spark back. It's by, I feel like what you fear most is people, places, and things. I think you've isolated a lot from these negative groups, and it's good to isolate from the things that disempower you. But by doing this, you've also isolated from the things that would empower you. So it's time to go back out there and find the people and places and things that empower you. It's time to look at this from a new perspective, because I see your perspective right now isn't empowering you. I'm also, okay, so this is a very drastic example, and I'm sure no one would relate to this level, but there's this new movie that came out called The Menu, and the main character is a chef who goes crazy. And the reason he becomes disillusioned is he's like an incredible chef, but he's lost his passion for the art form. And he basically has people come in. The guests are all people who made him lose his passion or fed into institutions or capitalized on his labor. And he's so fixated on the negative energies and how he's lost his passion that he doesn't even fight to reclaim it. It's like the bad wolf inside you and the good wolf inside you will always be inside of you. And if you're feeding all your energy into the bad wolf, all of these negative things that happened, you won't find that magic. But there is that magic you find in Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, in fantasy, that exists in our world, just in a different way. But I feel like you've separated it so much you can't see that that beauty and sacredness and interconnectedness exists, just in a different, more abstract way on Earth. And you have to take your perspective off of these difficult energies and find new groups and ideologies and purpose that empowers you. And that's where you'll find that magic again in your life. And you might feel threatened by these things as you enter these groups, but you don't have to immediately show yourself. You can just listen to these people. And when it feels like it's time to integrate into these groups, or I'm like thinking of 12-step groups in my head, but this could be so many things. This could be a book club. This could be a sports group. This could be a video game community. Whatever it is that would empower you and give you this magic back by being around empowering people who share common ideas and interests and are also seeking this magic in their lives. So don't fear this. All you have to do is expose yourself to it and feed the good wolf inside you, and then the rest will follow. There's this quote, "The rest follows as it is." It's like you can't expect to find this magic if you aren't actively pursuing it. You have to situate yourself in environments that will help you expand in your life to expand. So next we're going to look at the animal cards. So we have the lizard and butterfly in reverse. I can tell you don't like change. You are adverse to change. But what Spirit's really saying is that you can trust your judgment and your intuition. You know exactly what you're attracted to, what can help you spark that passion back in your life. The lizard has that sixth sense and knows what is suited to them and what isn't. And you've always known this, but maybe when you were younger, people tried to tell you what you should like, what you shouldn't like, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And so you felt like you had to conform to groups that didn't suit you, but you know what suits you. And all changes in relationships, all changes have discomfort in them. But if you accept this discomfort will be there, but it'll bring in so much more positivity and happiness once you get past that initial discomfort. You'll have a lot of joy. So yeah, I'm really seeing for you, you know what's right for you. You know where to go. And the act of courage is doing things despite the fear. The fear will always be there, but if you act despite the fear, you'll find a lot of faith and hope and beauty in your life. So you're meant to trust in where your wings will take you. I feel like even now, as you're listening to this, you know what groups you're interested in, what you have that passion or hope towards, what you feel connected to on a soul level. And you're meant to act despite the fear. So we're going to look at my goddesses oracle cards. We have Joan of Arc, faith. Yeah, you're really meant to trust that this path is leading to your utmost fulfillment. I think you have a very close relationship with divinity, whether you know it or not. And Spirit's trying to guide you into a more empowered place where you feel happier. And Joan of Arc did what she needed to do. And she really just trusted her conviction and fought with all of the courage she had. And I can see you have strong convictions and you're meant to follow what feels right in your heart and have that courage despite the fear. Do it anyway and focus on what feels right to you. She didn't listen to the negative opinions around her. She just stood strong in her convictions, and I'm seeing that's what you're meant to do too. Reading her story could give you some courage and inspiration. So next, we're going to look at the zodiac cards. Person of water, the emotional idealist, emotionally connected, psychic, empathic, intuitive, sensitive, Phoenix, transformation, eternal soul, renew, resurrection, rebirth, and corset, held together, boundaries, restriction, prim and proper, following rules, structured. Yes, this is what we were talking about when you were younger. You felt like you had to conform. I think that this prim and proper and following rules really made you disillusioned to the world. And I think your soul as it is emotionally connected, psychic, empathic, intuitive, and sensitive, and heart-centered. And I think that society around you really wasn't aligned with this kind of person. And if you focus too much on these societal structures and how you conform to them in the past, you won't find happiness. You need to look towards what will fill you with joy. I'm thinking about the Scarlet Letter and how the woman who got pregnant was outcasted and she had nobody. And I think you have a fear that if you don't conform, you'll be abandoned, or maybe you're in a middle ground where you haven't conformed and you're pretty isolated. But in this modern world, there are people who understand you, who will empower you and are just like you. And you're meant to find those people. I see Aquarius season and Scorpio season are going to be very powerful for you. Air signs and water signs right now are very significant in your life. You're meant to be adaptable and go out of your way to find these groups that connect with you and align with you, because they are out there. And just because people felt a certain way in your past doesn't mean they were right. These restrictions and rules are limiting and wrong, and you can live a different life. You can start over. You don't have to let those things hold you back. So to close this reading, we're going to look at the Rose Oracle cards for you. We have the Rose Garden, Innocence, Forgiveness, Be Gentle with Yourself. And we have Mother Rose, Returning to Each Other, Compassion, Humanity. I really see members of your soul tribe, people who connect with you on your level coming in, who connect with you on your energetic vibration. You just have to put yourself out there. And be gentle with yourself through this process and forgive yourself for doing what you could with the information you had back then. You didn't do anything wrong. You were just living. You were trying to take care of yourself and survive, and that's all you could do. And I see some remothering could be very helpful for you, just nurturing yourself and loving yourself and being that and doing those motherly things for yourself, showing yourself that you are loved and deserve love. You're going to find a lot more compassion and happiness in your life moving forward. You just need to act despite the fear and put yourself out there to the groups you know you're going to connect with and find love in. And you're a very strong soul, and you have a lot of beauty coming in for you. There's a song called Sink the Ships and Don't Look Back. Like, it's time to let go of the past and move forward to a new day with people who are aligned with you and share your values and don't want you to conform in a box you don't fit in. It's time to just be who you are. Yeah, Joan of Arc definitely has some messages for you. So, Pile 3, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 4. If you chose the Angelite, then this is your reading on messages from the universe. So, the first card we have is the Ten of Cups. The second card we have is the Queen of Wands in reverse. And the third card we have is the Eight of Coins in reverse. Luna? Hi, baby. Okay, Pile 4, what I see is that you're meant to act like it's already here. I think you have dealt with insecurity in the past. You've dealt with fear of things not working out. So sometimes you go into the survival mindset of, okay, I have to prepare myself for the worst, or I need to... I think you're constantly on guard to make sure that you're prepared for any situation. And what I'm seeing is long-term emotional fulfillment has come in for you. And you're meant to embrace this and since you know this has come, what you're meant to work on is showing yourself love and showing yourself you know you deserve this. And I think people in the past made you feel insecure about yourself, so there's a big thing about feeling deserving of this beauty that's entered your life. And I think you're meant to see your power. And also, what's that movie? I'm really seeing you. You have done a lot more work than you're giving yourself credit for. I'm seeing, this Queen of Wands, there's a volcano behind her. And I'm thinking of, what's that movie? I can't think of the name. It's a Disney movie. And there's a girl named Moana in it. And she travels to find the heart of the volcanoes because her land has become desolate. What is that movie? Okay, it's called Moana. Yeah. So, yeah, and I overthought that. So there might be some overthinking here for you. Like, oh, do I really deserve what's come in? You have fought for your life, for where you're at now. And I think you're discrediting the work you've done on yourself. And what the universe wants to say is you're deserving of every single cup coming in now. And you're meant to show yourself this love and show yourself how much you fought for yourself. Maybe watching Moana could give you some confidence, because I'm really seeing you honoring that archetype and really doing some beautiful work on yourself. And I feel like you're someone who thinks you have to work for everything you have, and some of this love and emotional fulfillment's just coming in effortlessly. And your work and labor is no indication of your worth. And I'm seeing something about you relaxing and letting yourself get pampered and being receptive to this love coming in and realizing you don't have to prove yourself for it. You don't have to do anything to deserve this. You just innately do because of who you are and all you've accomplished on a spiritual level. It's almost as though these birds are coming to you. This beauty's coming to you, and you're just meant to enjoy it. And realize that you have really fought a long, tough battle. And I'm thinking of Odysseus now and how he, on the Odyssey, had to fight so many different mythological characters. And then whenever he came back to his homeland, he was like, what do I do now? And he was meant to celebrate, but he was so fixated on the journey and like the work that needed to be done that he couldn't really enjoy his victory. And that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to enjoy this victory, and you don't have to work for this. You just get to have it. And you're meant to embrace this self-care and realize you're this Queen of Wands. And you do this by just showing yourself love and doing esteemable acts to help raise your self-esteem. Do things to show yourself that you're worthy of this. Do these esteemable acts. And you'll know when you need to work, and you'll know when you don't. But right now I feel like you're in overdrive, and it's time to just enjoy the fruits of your labor, all the hard work you've put into yourself over the past few years. You're really meant to see yourself in a more powerful light. Also, Wicked, that musical, is reminding me of you, if you've ever seen that, of Elphaba. Defying gravity, that's you. And you're in this beautiful new chapter. And you don't have to work for this, you just need to receive it. Because I think you're underestimating how beautiful of a person you are and all the beauty you've done, all the beautiful things you've done. So I want to look at the animal spirit cards next. Okay. We have octopus. So I think right now, the reason you're struggling with the self-worth stuff is because you still are working on your internal boundaries of not letting other people's perception or opinions affect you and affect your happiness. In Wicked, Elphaba ends up leaving some people behind that she cared for, but she knew they didn't belong on the next part of her journey. And I'm seeing you might be thinking like, oh, what would they think of this? Would they think I deserve this? And you're meant to have strong internal boundaries and know that no one else's opinion dictates what you deserve or don't deserve. And you have a lot of people who know you are deserving of this, and they're the people that are in your life right now. And you don't need to work to gain their approval. They see who you are on a soul level because they're open to that. The people in the past weren't. Yeah, work on those internal boundaries because you're this radiant, beautiful person, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And when you connect to your knowing, you know this, but when you're too in the 3D, you might lose sight of this. So let's look at the goddess cards next. We have Katesh, pleasure. Yes. You're meant to be enjoying your life right now and enjoying the fruits of what's coming in. I think some soul tribe members are coming in. And I think you're overwhelmed with the abundance you're receiving, and it's meant for you. This is all meant for you. And you're meant to enjoy it and enjoy the sensual pleasures of life. I'm thinking of like Cleopatra sitting, being fanned, eating like, oh my God, oh no, it's in a different deck, but there's this Empress card that this is reminding me of, just being receptive to the fruits of life, I said something about the fruits of your labor. That's what you're meant to do. And don't overthink it. You're a brilliant, brilliant mind. That's how I think I started off the reading. And it's easy to overthink, but just enjoy as much as you can. And I see that this dynamic is what you're coming into, is this unwavering confidence. It's something you've just had to assimilate to. But your happiness is here, and you're meant to find joy in it now and not fear it going away, because it's here and it will stay. So now we're going to look at my zodiac cards. I think you're very much like kind of looking over your shoulder, like what thing is going to go wrong next, because you went through a lot of difficulty in the past to get to where you are now. And I think Spirit's really trying to say that you're safe now. And you can relax. You have broken vase, hardship, misfortune, trial, overcome, crisis, 2 steps back. I think this is what you fear. This hardship and this misfortune. But Spirit's saying this won't happen. And I'm almost hearing that what can happen will be like champagne problems, like problems that they're good problems to have, because we'll always have problems, but you will be having good problems to have. Like breaking a vase, you clean up the pieces, you know what I mean? It's like pretty easy problem to have. I broke a vase recently. I'm literally thinking about this, how I broke one. Hi, Muna. My cat's meowing. Hi, sweet girl. Oh, hi. You gonna come say hi to the readers or to my tarot friends? Oh my goodness, this is a good sign she came out. I love when cats come out during readings. I think that's really cool. Okay, you can hang out. Why not? Okay. But what I'm thinking is the problems you have are probably not as bad as you feel they are. Or like the things that could happen are pretty easy to resolve. And I'm not invalidating your feelings. I'm just saying you don't need to be so worried. Things are going to work out, and the worst is behind you. I really see that. We have olive branch. Truce, surrender, giving in, come to terms, suspend. So I'm seeing with that, no matter what, sometimes you just have to surrender to these things, but life is working out for you. And even with these conflicts, you'll be able to resolve them in peace and happiness. There's this picture of a dove Picasso created or made that looks kind of like this, and it's reminding me that there's conflict in everyone's lives, but you can come to terms with it and realize that sometimes this happens, but it doesn't have to define your life. Almuna loves your crystal. Fortitude, fortress, staying, power, stubborn, sealed off, aloof. So I'm seeing that you have this fortitude and this strength, Muna. But, hey Muna, can you scoot your tail a little? Thank you. So, oh, perfect. That's a great spot. So I'm seeing that you might be kind of walled off right now and ready for anything to happen to you. And I'm seeing you don't need this thick of walls. Like, if anything, I'm seeing that what's coming towards you is much better than you anticipate. Like, people apologizing for past harm, people really wanting to work with you. Like, I see this olive branch coming to you while you're in this fortress, and you'll be surprised at people's care and love for you. And I just think that your walls might be up and internal boundaries are more appropriate for where you're at now rather than walls. Fishing poles, self-reliance, extend oneself, autonomy, mentoring others, poetry in motion. I love that it says that. Also reminds me of Hemingway, kind of. Yeah, and then some transcendentalism. Okay, so you're on the right track, and I think you really know what you're meant to do and what's meant for you. Hi, you want to sit on my lap? There we go. I see that you can collaborate with people from this place of autonomy because you're very autonomous and independent, and you've really worked for this and worked for this place you're at, and it's very impressive. But there's a way to put this into action that empowers you and allows you to connect without walling yourself off. There's a difference between self-reliance and isolation. We have spring, new moon, the maiden within 1 to 3 months. So something might be happening to you or for you in the next 3 months that really awakens this openness to life, this receptivity to life, to this beauty. I think the spring months are going to be very beautiful for you, and new moons are going to be cataclysmic. Big events will be happening during new moons. Something else, Aso Tarot talks about how fear is false evidence appearing real. And I love that she talks about that. She's an incredible reader. You should go check her out if you haven't. But I think calming your brain by reminding yourself that these fears are false evidence appearing real, you'll find more peace. Because what you fear, I think, is coming at you with more of an olive branch vibration than you would expect. So, to close, we're going to look at the Rose Oracle cards. We have Codes of the Seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. And Held, sureness of the soil. unseen help, support, community. Yes, you have this tin of cups, support and community around you. You are held through everything you're going through. And I love that even in this photo, this person looks held in the seed. You know what, your intuition knows what steps you are meant to take next and where you're meant to go. And you are not meant to fear this. You were planted in the soil as the seed, and you will grow as you're meant to grow. And the universe is conspiring in your favor. And all you have to do is continue to take the next right step for you and lean on the community when you need to. Don't wall yourself off. So this is what I'm getting for you, Pile 4. You're a beautiful person. I hope you have a beautiful day or night whenever you're watching, and I will see you in another video. Take care. Bye.